All right. So I'm going to be going over the meal plan and just kind of like what are these containers that we're using for our nutrition, how, like, why are we using them, how do they work, what's important about them, and then kind of taking a look, diving deeper into the Transform 20 nutrition guide and meal plan and stuff like that. So first and foremost, I want to kind of go over like what are these colored containers. So if you're not familiar, the purple container is what you're going to use for your fruits, green is veggies, yellow is for your carbs, red is protein, blue is healthy fats, and then orange is like your seeds and dressings. So as of recently, a lot of the newer challenge packs don't actually come with these anymore. And I think that's just because they're kind of changing things up as far as, you know, not every single workout program uses specifically the containers. And so if you don't have these containers, don't think that like you're screwed, because you're not. All you have to do is Google 21 Day Fix container equivalents, and I will tell you these are both like a serving is a cup, yellow is half a cup, red is 3/4 a cup, blue is 1/3 of a cup, and the orange is 2 tablespoons. So a lot of times when I'm cooking, because sometimes I just don't want to use this to measure out, I just use my measuring spoons or my measuring cups when I'm measuring out veggies, you know, quinoa, stuff like that. It's just easier to use the measuring cups. So that's how you are going to be measuring all of your food as far as making sure that you have appropriate portion sizes. Today was our like cooking, it's called Super Saturday. So basically locally throughout the US, Canada, and the UK, all the local coaches kind of get together and get to know each other, and corporate puts out this video where they put out these announcements. And coming this spring, Autumn Calabrese is revamping the portion system. She's doing like a whole like brand new cookbook with like all this new like nutrition stuff, which is really, really exciting. And she had mentioned, she's like, it really comes down to like your portions and having something to follow, because I mean, I feel like, you know, I've been doing this for a while and I've got a fairly good understanding of like how to eat healthy, but I know that within the last month, I haven't been following like a set plan. And I've just like, yeah, I've been eating healthy foods, but I definitely probably haven't been having enough of this, or I've been having too much of that. And so it just kind of goes to show that, yeah, you can eat healthy, but it really kind of comes down to making sure that you have enough of each of the different food groups, so that way your body is fueled appropriately, so that way it can run properly. So that's kind of my spiel on the containers themselves and kind of their purpose, what they're for, and kind of how they work. I know that and we'll kind of see this more in the nutrition guide, but some meal plans you'll find, because, you know, on your Beachbody On Demand, you have access to the nutrition guides and meal plans with every single program. Some of the nutrition guides actually tell you the serving size next to the food on the approved food list. But for the most part, if it's just listed there, you know, if it's the veggies list, the equivalent is a cup. And like with lettuce and stuff like that, I don't just lightly sprinkle lettuce in here. Like, you pack that shit in, and it's like I'm getting a cup of spinach, you know? I'm not just gonna like, oh, here's 7 leaves, you know? So that is that. So kind of switching over to Transform 20, I want to talk a little bit about the Getting Started Right guide. You'll see it. I don't have to explain that. You can read. It basically breaks down the program. Now, for example, I'm using Transform 20 as an example. If you're not doing Transform 20, you'll find this type of information with whatever program you are doing. So every program is going to tell you exactly how to calculate what meal plan that you are going to fall into, which bracket. So some take into consideration just weight, some is height and weight. You have to read through it to kind of figure out what it's looking for. I know that like Shift Shop is very specific. Shift Chef is one of my favorite meal plans personally. But this one, it tells you this is how many servings you can have of the different containers, so that way you're having adequate veggies, not too many carbs, and things like that. So that is where you're going to find that. So like, for example, for me, now keep in mind, I fall into plan A. A lot of people will fall into plan A. 3 servings of veggies is not going to be enough for me. Just gonna be honest. Like, it's just not enough. I'm a proponent for, if you have extra servings of veggies, like if you eat extra veggies, that there's no penalty to that. Never penalize yourself for having more veggies than this says. Now, there's a fine line between overeating and being like, my body's telling me I'm hungry, I'll have some veggies. That is okay. So I know, like with Lift 4, technically I fell under plan A. I ate at plan C. You have to listen to your body. And so it's like, maybe try following one plan for a couple days. And if you're like, I'm starving, go up a plan. It is okay. These programs aren't easy, and they're made to work your body. And so you need to have the appropriate fuel to keep you going. So that's kind of my spiel on that. You'll see next in the nutrition guides are those approved food lists that I mentioned. What's awesome is you'll notice it's a very long list, but something you may not know, the foods at the top of the list are going to be the more nutrient dense, and it's like a hierarchy, really. The foods at the top of the list are top choices, your go-to. So obviously a cup of kale is going to be more dense than a cup of pickles, or a cup of onions, lettuce, celery. Like, those are the types of things that are at the bottom. So keep that in mind, that when you're having your veggies, don't fill up your entire day with just sprouts, onions, lettuce, celery, and cucumbers. Like, you're not going to get the appropriate nutrients. So make sure you're kind of including things from all ends of the spectrum of the list. So there's the approved food for every single container. So you'll see that here. There's always a free food list. So obviously water, a lot of condiments that are cleaner, such as mustard and like spices. So for example, I have this is a Dijon mustard, and when I look at the ingredients, it's water, mustard seed, vinegar, salt, white wine, turmeric, and spices. That's pretty clean. So when you're picking out condiments, don't find ones like, there's no sugar in this. No sugar whatsoever. Same with hot sauce. There's a lot of hot sauces that are filled with sugar. Tabasco is distilled vinegar, red pepper, salt. It's a very clean hot sauce. And you all know a little goes a very long way with that. So that's always nice. Next, you'll find Shakeology bases and milks. So a lot of people like to shake their Shakeology with just like ice and almond milk. So this is a really good resource that basically is like, if you're going to have your Shakeology with a low-fat milk that's like a 1% to 2% milk, it's equivalent. 8 fluid ounces of that milk is a yellow container. You'll find all of that broken down in your nutrition guide. But just know that that's how you calculate your base with your Shakeology into your meal plan. Shakeology is always going to be a red container. So it's a serving of protein. So if you shake your Shakeology with 8 ounces of almond milk, that's a yellow and a red. Quick side note, if you use the performance line, those are always like a free item. If you use Recover or Energize, they don't take away from any of your containers. They're their own separate thing. So what's cool with the Transform 20 nutrition guide here is it has like a sample, like a, what is it, three sample days of like, here's what you can eat with the container equivalent breakdown, which is really nice. And you'll find a lot of this kind of stuff if you just Google it, which is really nice. And then there's obviously a ton of recipes within this booklet. That's for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, drinks, all that kind of stuff. So as far as the Transform 20 nutrition guide goes, that's really the basic, what all of it means, how to interpret the information that's there. Now, with the transformation tracker, which is awesome, you'll see in this book, I really should have moved my light. Oh, jeez. You'll see you can put down, like, you know, if I get, for example, for plan A, you get 3 veggies, you can keep track. You know, what I'll probably do is just put a number. Now, I don't know how, if I would, well, yeah, I would tally, you know, kind of keep a sticky note of, you know, I get 3 greens for this, 2 that, whatever. And then you can tally it, you know, as you write in what you have for each meal, you can then add the tally of the container equivalent down here. So you're tracking what you're having. You know, your Shakeology, which you had that day. Something super, super cool about this is the fact that you get to track how you feel every single day. And definitely, you know, writing down your daily challenges and how you're going to conquer them is really empowering, because there's a lot to be said about when you are struggling with something internally, and to verbalize it or to write it out is very cathartic, and it brings awareness to it. So you don't have to dwell on it and keep it in the back of your head. So if you're really struggling with anxiety on day 5, write it down. Say like, my daily challenge is anxiety, and write it down, be aware of it. And you know, what can you do to help that? Like for me on Wednesday, I was having a really rough day. I just was like, I was greeting at church and I was fighting back tears. I don't know why, but I knew that for me to kind of deal with it, like I knew if I sat in service, I would just sit and bawl like a baby. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to go home. And that's how I conquered it. Cried in my car a little bit, and then I was fine. So really just bringing awareness of the things that are hindering you or just kind of holding you back is going to be super, super huge. So that's the transformation tracker and everything with that. Now I would like to share my screen real quick and share. I want to show you the
cute nephew.
I know. I'm obsessed with this child. So of course he's my wallpaper. So recipes, meal prep ideas, all that stuff. When you log into Beachbody On Demand and you go down to Fixate, if you've never checked out Fixate, please do. There's so many good ideas. So this is a great place to start. This is kind of, Containers 101 is pretty much what I did, but it's Autumn's version. And then there's other ways to prepare for meal prepping. You can see all of these recipes, you guys, and these are all videos that are 3 to 5 minutes long. Some of them are a little bit longer, of how she makes them is really what it is. If you don't want to
container, and then this is her brother who's a professional chef.
Hold on, Tasha, could you mute yourself for a second? Thanks. So if you don't want to sit and watch videos, that's totally fine. Under the program materials, this is where you will find, it's a PDF of all of the recipes. It's like an ebook, really. So you will find all of these recipes. So there's a lot. Lots and lots and lots of really good recipes on here. So that's kind of how you access that. And the last thing I'm going to show you.
Body website?
This is on Beachbody On Demand. So this is where you're going to access your workouts, your meal plans. Is pretty much everything and anything you can think of is on here. And I saw this last night, and I think it was Tasha that saw this too. So, when you log in and you click Transform 20, they uploaded the first week of workouts.
Ah, yay.
Oh my gosh. So if you want to take a sneak peek, or if you're like me and it's like, I don't want to know what I'm up against, I just want to we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I don't want to make myself nervous, but this is where you'll find all of the workouts. And then right next to it, you'll find the program materials. So it's basically an electronic version of everything that you're getting with it. So if you, instead of under the workout tab, go over to the blog, this is really cool because, again, there is a recipe for anything and everything under the sun on here. There's your typical blog post of, things to know, and so there's some really great information on here. But if you go to recipes, it breaks it down into if you're vegetarian, if you follow To Be Mindset, if, vegan, dessert, snack, again, literally anything and everything. Great resource for making meals. Now from here, say I want to look at meal prep. Here's great articles on how to meal prep for lift 4. This specifically is Plan A, but there's tips and recipes and guides on how to meal prep, how to do it on a budget, and all those types of things. So there's an overabundant amount of resources. You're never going to be short of resources. If you feel like you're short of resources, let me know, because I will find more for you. You can even go to Pinterest. Let's look up 21 Day Fix recipe. 1,101 right here, just in one click. Pinterest is a great guide if you don't have, let's say, you don't have a transformation tracker and you don't have a way to track your meals. I've uploaded a few templates in the group of some trackers, but let's even say 21 Day Fix tracker. There's so many resources on printable tracking sheets that you can use. So I personally am much more likely to stay on track when I have a way that I can check off, okay, I've had this many containers. Because if you're not counting, or if you're not keeping track of your containers and the food you've had that day, you are probably not sticking to it as best as you can. So you need to find something that's going to work. I really like this creative idea. I like having something that I can take with me, because if I don't write it at work, I'll probably forget. But find something that works for you. I will say, I will transition to the apps that are available for your phone. There is a 21 Day Fix app. For example, we'll go to 21 Day Fix Extreme. Oh, it's going to make me set it up. Okay. So this is specific to the 21 Day Fix. It's not going to show you. But you can see it's got a counter, and this just plugged in the container amounts automatically. But it has a countdown. So if I log, I had 2 cups of spinach and 2 eggs with my breakfast. It's going to take away 2 greens and 1 red. So I'll show you. It's that app, 21 Day Fix. This is new. I'm still working on playing around with this. This is like a Beachbody nutrition app. is another way to track your food for the day. And you can set, if I did this correct, you can set how many, like your amount of containers that you are supposed to have based on your plan each day. And so, you know, we'll save that. And then down here, you know, like for breakfast, I can enter in, I had, you know, this many containers of this, this, and this. And then when you know, say I had one red and one green, when I log it, it now just took away from my daily count and logged it down there. So if you're more of a mobile person, some people are more pen and paper, some people are more like, my phone is in my hand 23 out of the 24 hours a day type of person, this is a great option. There is like you can log your Shakeology and stuff like that. Don't stress about that, because I'd rather you log your Shakeology in our app, because there's just something about like seeing other people posting pictures of their Shakeology, or like the fun ways that they do that. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's like the highlight of my day. So please log your Shakeology in that app. You can also scroll down in the app and there's like featured recipes of the day, which is really cool. So there's other tabs at the bottom of the app. You can play, I'm not going to sit and play around with it, but you can definitely explore it. And so those are some of the options. I know that was a lot of info, but does anyone have questions in regards to anything thus far?
Do you have like any not Beachbody apps for like nutrition that, or like just in general that you use?
No, I really don't. Because like with the MyFitnessPal, it just counts calories really, and like in macros, and that doesn't always align with the container system, because the container goes beyond just macros. With like the healthy fats and the orange containers and stuff like that, like Shakeology probably won't completely align with a lot of the stuff in there. An interesting tidbit, when I was watching the video from corporate today, they always show 2 success stories of people who have, you know, had a lot of success with these programs and things like that. And there's one guy who lost 170 pounds. He actually started with the dance program Size. He, like, his big takeaway was, he's like, the one tip that I would have for anyone who's new, who is struggling, is to just trust the process and trust these programs. They're formulated the way they are for a reason. And don't try and change something that is designed to help you. I know sometimes I catch myself trying to put my own spin on things. Just don't try to reinvent the wheel. Just trust the process. It's hard. It's so hard to trust the process. Like, I would be lying if I said I wasn't nervous about doing 6 weeks of workouts on a step. It's outside of my comfort zone. I will lift weights any day. But using a step, it's outside of my comfort zone. You guys, I'm being honest. It is what it is. But I know that it was designed to help me and to make me stronger physically and mentally. And so I'm going to do it. I'm going to, you know, show up. I'm going to give it my all, because at the end of the day, that's all that we ask, is that you give it your all and you do your best. Every day isn't a 0 or nothing thing. I've told people this in the past, and I probably haven't mentioned it enough, is that every day you start at 100%. Maybe halfway through the day, you have a mess up and you have that Reese's peanut butter cup that's sitting out in the open just for you to have. Anyone who works in healthcare, usually there's always free candy and something of some sort somewhere, and it's the literal worst. But you know what? Just because you had that one Reese's peanut butter cup doesn't mean the entire rest of your day goes to shit, because you've still got another half the day where you can make better choices. So really keep that in mind, that just because you had one small slip up doesn't mean like, oh, well, here we go. I guess I'm just going to live the rest of my life unhealthy, you know? So recognize those moments. And that's my pep talk on that. But I went off on a tangent on a very simple question, but trust the process.
So question, I'm kind of like visual, and I really think the containers would help me. So would I be able to attain the containers somehow, somewhere?
You can order them. I can send you exactly the link to get them and everything. And they're
Like, it's fine with me to measure the things out, but I feel like it would be easier if I did have the containers, just because I am a visual person.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will tell you, like, there's some days I'll put almonds or like I don't shove avocado in here because avocado is a healthy fat. I want to say that I would have to look at the serving of avocado, but like I will put almonds in here and then just like throw it in my purse.
Right.
That thing of almonds.
I could see myself doing that, like taking it to work, just because I know that that's how much I would need for the day, or like for that container. I just feel like it would be easier for me if I had the containers.
Yeah, I'll send you the info on how to get that. They're fairly inexpensive. So.
Okay, awesome.
Any other questions at all? I kind of like having this like live call. I want to incorporate this more into our group, whether it's like live workouts or like, obviously we'd all stream our own workouts, but I did this on Christmas Eve and Jessica was there and it was so much fun. And even if it's like we do this like every so often, just like, okay, how's it going? What are we struggling with? You know, so that way you guys can converse with one another as well. I think that would be really cool to really kind of, you get to see everyone who's surrounding me. You get to see them more in real life instead of just selfies. You get to interact with people more. So definitely, if that's something you guys want, let me know, because I think it's fun. Even if it's just like a Sunday afternoon. Today's Saturday. Oh my goodness.
I think that would be fun, just so we can learn from one another.
Yeah.
This is new for me, and honestly, I feel like this stepper thing I'm very uncoordinated, so this is gonna be very interesting for me.
When you log into your Beachbody On Demand, there is there's videos on how to navigate the step. Like a step safety.
I know, I saw that. Like,
I'm gonna do that 5 times in a row.
I was like, I definitely really have to pay attention during these step safety measures.
And like when I was doing the sample workouts, whenever you have to, I'm like, okay, just look down.
Yeah, that's exact. I did the sample workout, and after maybe like 10 minutes, I was like, I can't do this stepper anymore. I was like, this is so bad. I was like literally tripping over the stepper. I was like, I can't do this. So I need to work on it.
Yeah, well, embrace the awkwardness. It will come easier. I know, like with 80-Day Obsession, those freaking bands for the first month, I was like, why are you rolling up on me? After a while, you get used to it. You really do. So embrace the awkwardness. Just don't break a bone or hurt yourself, please. But yeah, it'll get a lot easier. And not every single move is you like jumping over the step. So, you know.
I'll get there. We'll get there together.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to wrap this up here. So if anyone has any other last questions, let me know.
Perfect. Thank you for this.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. I'm going to upload this and put it in our group. And yeah, that is that. I will say one little blurb that if you are a discount coach or an active coach or whatever, and you are not in Shaun T's group on Facebook, please let me know, because he, I think everyone got an email, to be honest, but if you didn't get the email for whatever reason, let me know. He's going in there every single day and dropping some like knowledge bombs and like it makes you think. Post down below this, and it's like, oh, I didn't know I had this insecurity. But definitely. And if you are not a discount coach or anything like that, let me know, because that way you can get a discount on Shakeology and the performance side and things like that. Doesn't hurt to save a couple dollars. And if you are military spouse, you get to be a coach for free. So that's all that I've got. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Saturday. Enjoy your weekend and get ready for Monday. I'm so excited.
Just out here for the first time. So I'm sitting inside.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.